Marvel Cinematic Universe has brought us some of the most iconic moments in movie history, epic battles, heartwarming friendships, and unforgettable one-liners. But what if we told you that many of these moments weren't even planned? That's right, some of the MCU's best scenes were completely unscripted. In this video, we're diving into the top 20 best unscripted moments in MCU movies that took everyone by surprise, even the cast and crew. From emotional dialogue to hilarious improvisations, you won't believe how many of your favorite scenes were spontaneous. 1. Tony Stark's I am Iron Man. Iron Man. Let's kick things off with a moment that changed the MCU forever. Tony Stark revealing his identity as Iron Man. In the original script of the 2008 Iron Man movie, Tony was supposed to stick to the traditional superhero trope of keeping his identity a secret, but Robert Downey Jr. decided to go rogue, saying the iconic words, "I am Iron Man." This was not in the script, but it was so in line with Tony Stark's character that the filmmakers decided to keep it, and it became one of the most memorable lines in MCU history. This unscripted moment perfectly captured the bold, brash nature of Tony Stark. It was a revolutionary move in the superhero genre, where heroes typically keep their identities under wraps. Downey's improvisation set the tone for the MCU's entire future, shifting away from the typical secretive nature of superheroes and embracing authenticity and transparency.
Iron Man.
2. Thor hanging Mjolnir on a coat hook. Thor, the Dark World. Next up, we have a moment that shows Thor's godly power in the most mundane way possible. During a scene in Thor, the Dark World, Chris Hemsworth as Thor casually hangs his magical hammer, Mjolnir, on a coat hook as if it were a regular everyday item. This wasn't in the script at all. Hemsworth improvised this move, giving us a hilarious yet subtle reminder that even a god can have normal, human-like habits. This small but impactful gesture added a lighthearted touch to a film that was otherwise more serious and dark. Fans love seeing Thor as not just a god of thunder, but as a relatable character who doesn't always take things too seriously. It also showcased Hemsworth's ability to bring humor and humility to an otherwise larger-than-life superhero. 3. Starlord's Dance-Off Challenge. Guardians of the Galaxy. Who could forget Star-Lord's iconic dance-off challenge against the villain Ronan the Accuser in Guardians of the Galaxy? This scene wasn't just hilarious, it was completely unscripted. Chris Pratt started busting out his signature moves during the intense standoff, and the unexpected dance-off became one of the most memorable moments in the entire film. Director James Gunn loved the spontaneity, and it fit perfectly with Star-Lord's quirky, irreverent character. What makes this scene even more incredible is how it fits so naturally within the tone of Guardians of the Galaxy. Star-Lord's goofy, carefree attitude contrasts perfectly with Ronan's serious demeanor, turning what could have been a standard superhero battle into an unforgettable scene. Pratt's improvisation reminded audiences that the MCU wasn't afraid to be silly and unconventional. 4. SpiderMan's I Don't Feel So Good. Avengers: Infinity War. Get your tissues ready for this one. In Avengers: Infinity War, when Thanos snaps his fingers and half the universe turns to dust, we witness Spider-Man's heartbreaking disintegration. The line, "I don't feel so good," Mr. Stark delivered by Tom Holland was largely improvised. Holland, channeling Peter Parker's fear and confusion, made this moment even more emotional than it was written. His raw performance left fans around the world in tears. This scene became an instant classic, with fans praising Holland's ability to convey such a sense of panic and innocence. His improvisation made Peter's death feel even more tragic, especially in contrast to the calm demeanor of many other characters. It also deepened the father-son relationship between Peter and Tony Stark, adding emotional weight to the later events of Avengers: Endgame. 5. Thor's I'm Still Worthy moment. Avengers: Endgame. The I'm Still Worthy moment for Thor occurs in Avengers Endgame during the final battle against Thanos. Thor, who has been struggling with guilt, depression, and a sense of failure after not stopping Thanos in Avengers Infinity War, feels unworthy of his title and power as the God of Thunder. He has gained weight, become emotionally withdrawn, and is no longer confident in himself. During the final battle, Thor calls upon his old weapon, Mjolnir, which had been destroyed in Thor Ragnarok. When Mjolnir responds to his call and returns to his hand, Thor realizes that despite all his perceived failures and his changed appearance, he is still worthy of wielding the hammer. This moment not only reassures Thor of his own strength and worth, but also signals to the audience that Thor's worthiness was never about his physical state or past mistakes, but about his heart and character. It's a powerful moment of redemption and affirmation for the character, as he understands that he is still a hero even after everything he's been through.
Are you yawning in the middle of this while I'm breaking it down? Huh?
6. Why is Gamora? Avengers Infinity War. Drax, played by Dave Bautista, is known for his literal deadpan humor, but one of his most famous lines in Avengers, Infinity War, was completely improvised. During a scene where Tony Stark and Starlord argue over the location of Gamora, Drax interjects with, "Why is Gamora?" This line wasn't in the script, but Bautista threw it in during filming, and it was so perfectly in character that it became one of the most quoted lines from the movie. This unscripted moment exemplifies Drax's straightforward, no-nonsense personality, while also providing comic relief during a tense scene. Bautista's quick thinking and comedic timing helped solidify Drax as a fan-favorite character, and the line has become a staple in MCU meme culture. 7. Cap's Hail Hydra, Whisper, Avengers Endgame. In Avengers Endgame, one of the most shocking and tension-filled moments happens when Captain America whispers "Hail Hydra" to infiltrate a Hydra base. While the line was in the script, Chris Evans brought his own touch to the delivery, turning it into a subtle and chilling moment that surprised audiences worldwide. Fans of the comics recognized the reference, but the line still came as a shock, particularly from a hero as morally upright as Cap. This scene was a clever nod to a controversial comic book storyline where Captain America was revealed to be a secret Hydra agent. Evans' smooth and confident delivery made the line even more impactful, adding to the suspense and humor of the scene. It was a moment that left fans on the edge of their seats and added an extra layer of intrigue to Cap's mission in Endgame. 8. Bruce Banner's "I'm Always Angry." The Avengers. One of the most powerful moments in the first Avengers movie comes when Bruce Banner reveals how he controls the Hulk. The famous line, "That's my secret, Cap, I'm always angry," was improvised in its final delivery by Mark Ruffalo.
I'm always angry.
Explaining his control over the Hulk, Ruffalo's intense, subtle delivery made it a defining moment for the character. Ruffalo's performance gave the line a deeper meaning, suggesting that Banner had come to terms with his inner turmoil. This unscripted nuance showed that Bruce wasn't just fighting the Hulk, he was embracing it, which marked a turning point for his character in the MCU. Fans loved the complexity and emotional weight Ruffalo brought to the role, transforming the Hulk from a mere force of destruction into a character of depth and inner conflict. 9. Peter Parker's awkward hug. Spider-Man Homecoming. In Spider-Man Homecoming, one of the most endearing moments happens when Peter Parker awkwardly misinterprets Tony Stark's actions as a hug. When Tony opens the car door for Peter, Peter moves in for a hug, only for Tony to clarify, "This isn't a hug, I'm just opening the door." Tom Holland improvised this awkward gesture, adding an extra layer of charm and innocence to Peter's character. This moment perfectly encapsulates Peter Parker's youthful naivety and his desire for approval from Tony Stark, who acts as a mentor figure to him. Holland's improvisation added a heartwarming and relatable dynamic to their relationship, making Peter's growth over the course of the film even more impactful. It's moments like these that have made Spider-Man one of the most beloved characters in the MCU. 10. Thor's "He's a Friend from Work." Thor Ragnarok. One of the most memorable lines from Thor Ragnarok, "He's a friend from work," wasn't written by the screenwriters. In fact, it was suggested by a young boy visiting the set through the Make-A-Wish Foundation. When Thor encounters the Hulk in the Gladiator Arena, he enthusiastically declares the line, adding a hilarious, lighthearted moment to the battle scene. Chris Hemsworth ran with the suggestion, and it became one of the most quoted lines from the movie. This spontaneous addition fit perfectly with the more comedic tone of Thor Ragnarok, which was a departure from the earlier, more serious Thor films. The line highlighted Thor's relatability and down-to-earth nature, even in the middle of an intergalactic fight. Hemsworth's ability to blend humor with heroism has helped make Thor one of the MCU's most beloved characters, and this improvised moment is a shining example of that. 11. Captain America's elevator fight. Captain America, the Winter Soldier. One of the most intense scenes in Captain America. The Winter Soldier is when Steve Rogers finds himself surrounded by Hydra agents in an elevator. What makes this scene even more impressive is that some of the movements and choreography were improvised on the spot by Chris Evans and the stunt team. The actors played off each other in the cramped space, making this fight feel raw and spontaneous. This unscripted approach gave the fight a sense of realism and urgency, with every punch, kick, and throw happening in close quarters. The scene was praised for its innovative choreography and is still regarded as one of the best action sequences in the MCU. Evans' ability to improvise while staying in character as Cap only further cemented his status as the ultimate MCU hero. 12. Black Panther's emotional farewell, Avengers: Infinity War. When the Wakandan king, T'Challa, fades away during the snap in Avengers: Infinity War, his final words, "This is no place to die," were improvised by Chadwick Boseman. This line wasn't originally part of the scene, but Boseman's quiet dignity and strength in delivering it made the moment even more emotional. Boseman's improvisation added depth to the scene, emphasizing the Warrior King's unwavering leadership even in the face of death. The line became a powerful moment of closure for T'Challa, and given Boseman's untimely passing in real life, it resonates with fans on an even deeper level. His portrayal of Black Panther remains iconic, and this unscripted line is a testament to his talent. Boom! 13. Rocket's Get That Arm, Avengers: Infinity War. Rocket Raccoon has always had a thing for mechanical body parts, and this obsession reached its peak in Avengers: Infinity War. During a battle scene, Rocket tells Bucky, "I'm gonna get that arm," referencing Bucky's metal arm. This line wasn't in the script. Bradley Cooper, who voices Rocket, threw it in during one of his recording sessions, and it fit Rocket's mischievous personality perfectly. Rocket's fascination with prosthetic limbs has been a running gag throughout the Guardians of the Galaxy and Avengers films. Cooper's improvisation added another layer of humor to the chaotic battle and reminded fans of Rocket's quirky, unfiltered nature. The line became a fan favorite and is still widely quoted today. 14. Doctor Strange's one-finger moment, Avengers: Endgame. In Avengers: Endgame, Doctor Strange gives Tony Stark a silent but incredibly powerful signal, holding up one finger to indicate that there is only one way to defeat Thanos. This small but impactful gesture wasn't originally planned to have so much weight, but Benedict Cumberbatch improvised the intensity of the moment on set. This unscripted decision added a deeper emotional layer to the final battle, signifying that Stark's impending sacrifice was the only option left to save the universe. Cumberbatch's subtle acting and quiet delivery amplified the tension, making the scene one of the most powerful in the entire MCU. Fans continue to discuss this moment as one of the most chilling in the franchise's history. 15. Spider-Man's "We're using our made-up names," Avengers: Infinity War. When Spider-Man meets Doctor Strange for the first time in Avengers: Infinity War, Peter Parker introduces himself by saying, "I'm Peter, by the way." Doctor Strange responds, "Doctor Strange," to which Peter awkwardly replies, "Oh, we're using our made-up names. I'm Spider-Man then." This exchange wasn't in the script. Tom Holland improvised the entire interaction, bringing Peter's youthful awkwardness to the forefront. Fans loved how this improvised moment captured Peter's innocence and naivety, especially in the midst of such a serious situation. Holland's ability to channel Spider-Man's lighthearted, quirky nature, while interacting with more serious characters like Doctor Strange, is part of what makes his portrayal of the character so beloved. This scene perfectly encapsulates Peter Parker's charm and relatability. 16. Scarlet Witch's heartbreaking breakdown, WandaVision. In WandaVision, one of the most emotional moments comes when Wanda finally confronts the grief she's been suppressing. Elizabeth Olsen, who plays Wanda, improvised several of the emotional outbursts and tearful pleas in the series, particularly in scenes where she confronts her love for Vision and the loss of her family. Olsen's unscripted performance added an extra layer of vulnerability and heartbreak to Wanda's character, making her grief feel raw and real. This improvisation allowed viewers to connect more deeply with her character's emotional journey, turning WandaVision into one of the most poignant entries in the MCU. The emotional weight of Wanda's journey solidified her as one of the most complex and powerful characters in the franchise. 17. Tony Stark's final line, Avengers: Endgame. Tony Stark's final line before he snaps his fingers to defeat Thanos, "I am Iron Man," was not originally in the script for Avengers. Endgame. Robert Downey Jr. improvised the line during reshoots, bringing his character's journey full circle from the first Iron Man film. This moment not only delivered a satisfying conclusion to Tony's story, but also became one of the most iconic lines in MCU history. Fans were blown away by the weight and significance of this improvised line, which perfectly encapsulated Tony's character arc. It was the ultimate display of his growth, from the arrogant billionaire playboy to the self-sacrificing hero. Downey's improvisation added even more emotional resonance to an already intense scene, and it's a moment that fans will never forget. 18. Captain's "That's America's Ass." Avengers Endgame. The "That's America's Ass" moment in Avengers Endgame is one of the most beloved unscripted lines in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU. It happens during a time travel sequence where the Avengers revisit key moments from their past. When Captain America, Steve Rogers, sees his younger self in his 2012 Avengers outfit, Tony Stark Iron Man makes a snide remark about the suit, saying it didn't do anything for his butt. Scott Lang, Ant-Man, then quips, "As far as I'm concerned, that's America's ass." Later, when Steve defeats his past self in battle, he looks at his unconscious body and acknowledges the comment, saying, "That is America's ass." This line was originally improvised by Chris Evans, and it quickly became a fan favorite. The moment is memorable not just because it's funny, but because it playfully pokes fun at Captain America's iconic persona, highlighting the camaraderie and lighthearted humor that makes the MCU so enjoyable. This scene stands out as one of the MCU's best unscripted moments, adding to the charm and humor that punctuates the emotional stakes of Endgame. 19. Captain Marvel's "I have nothing to prove to you." Captain Marvel. During a pivotal moment in Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers delivers the line, "I have nothing to prove to you," to the villainous Jan Rog. Brie Larson improvised this line, capturing the essence of her character's newfound confidence and self-empowerment. The line was so powerful that it became a key moment in Carol's transformation from a soldier following orders to a fully realized superhero. This unscripted moment resonated deeply with fans, particularly those who saw Carol as a symbol of strength and resilience. Larson's improvised delivery added a personal touch to Carol's journey, making her growth feel even more authentic. The line became an empowering message for audiences, emphasizing that true strength comes from within. 20. Thor's emotional breakdown. Avengers Endgame. In Avengers Endgame, we see Thor at his lowest point, struggling with guilt, depression, and the weight of his past failures. During a conversation with his fellow Avengers, Chris Hemsworth improvised several moments, including Thor's emotional breakdown and his self-deprecating humor. Hemsworth's raw, vulnerable performance in these unscripted moments showed a different side of Thor, making him more relatable and human than ever before. Hemsworth's ability to balance humor and heartbreak in Thor's character arc helped make this version of Thor a fan favorite. The unscripted moments where Thor is struggling to cope with his emotions added depth to the character, showing that even a god can experience pain and loss. These moments made Thor's eventual redemption in Endgame all the more satisfying. From laugh-out-loud moments to gut-wrenching emotional scenes, these unscripted moments in the MCU prove that sometimes the best lines and actions happen when the cameras are rolling and the actors are left to their own devices. Which one was your favorite? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to get notified whenever we upload new content. Thanks for watching, goodbye, and see you in the next video.
The shocking scandals of P. Diddy, uncovering his darkest secrets. Welcome back to our channel where we break down the biggest stories in entertainment. Today, we're diving into one of the most shocking and controversial figures in the music world, Sean Diddy Combs. Known for his groundbreaking contributions to hip-hop, a luxurious lifestyle, and a string of successful business ventures, Diddy's name has also become synonymous with controversy, particularly in recent months. From accusations of sexual misconduct, racketeering, and drug use, to chilling testimonies from his inner circle, Diddy's reputation is facing its biggest test yet. We'll explore the rise and fall of a music mogul, and how these dark secrets are threatening to unravel his legacy. Buckle up. This is a story that spans decades, filled with twists, shocking revelations, and scandals that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about Diddy. Before we dive into the recent scandals, let's first set the stage. Sean Diddy Combs, also known as Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, and now just Diddy, is one of the most successful music moguls of all time. He founded Bad Boy Records in 1993 and quickly became synonymous with hip-hop's golden era, working with icons like the notorious B.I.G., Lil' Kim, and Mace. Diddy's influence was undeniable. He turned Bad Boy into a powerhouse label that shaped the culture of music, fashion, and lifestyle. He wasn't just a record executive. Diddy was the blueprint for the modern-day music entrepreneur, launching clothing lines, alcohol brands, and even venturing into reality TV. By the early 2000s, he had solidified his place as one of the most powerful figures in entertainment. But even as Diddy reached the heights of success, there were whispers of a darker side. Numerous artists who worked under the Bad Boy banner, including Mace and the Lox, have come forward over the years, accusing Diddy of shady business practices. In a particularly public dispute, Mace, one of Bad Boy's biggest stars, accused Diddy of holding him back financially and creatively. He claimed Diddy refused to sell him the publishing rights to his music unless he paid an exorbitant amount, an accusation that painted Diddy as a controlling figure who prioritized profits over the well-being of his artists. Similar stories came from the Lox, who famously waged a Free the Lox campaign, demanding to be released from their contract with Bad Boy. For these artists, working with Diddy was a double-edged sword. He could launch you to stardom, but he would maintain control long after your hit records were made. One of the most explosive scandals to hit Diddy's empire came from his longtime ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. In November 2023, Cassie filed a civil lawsuit accusing Diddy of sexual assault, physical abuse, and emotional manipulation during their on-and-off relationship, which lasted over a decade. According to the lawsuit, Cassie alleges that Diddy subjected her to years of violence, coercion, and abuse. She claims that he forced her into non-consensual sexual acts with other men, introduced her to a lifestyle filled with drugs, and manipulated her into staying in the relationship under the guise of love. The lawsuit includes claims of physical violence, recounting incidents where Diddy allegedly punched her in the face, leaving her bruised and traumatized. Cassie's revelations sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry, with many calling Diddy's behavior predatory and abusive. In her testimony, she described feeling trapped, fearful, and unable to escape his control due to his power and influence. Although Diddy quickly settled the lawsuit, reportedly for millions of dollars, the damage to his public image was already done. But Cassie's allegations are just the tip of the iceberg. As more details emerged, other women came forward with their own disturbing accounts of what they called freak-off parties, reportedly organized by Diddy. These parties, which have been described as drug-fueled sexual escapades, allegedly involved coerced sexual activities, sometimes with multiple participants, and were orchestrated by Diddy himself. One of the most alarming claims is that Diddy used his power and influence to manipulate women into these situations, providing drugs like ecstasy and ketamine to lower their inhibitions. Some of these events were even filmed without the participants' consent, raising serious legal and ethical concerns about violation of privacy and consent. These allegations have painted a picture of a man who used his fame and fortune to exploit those around him, creating an environment where abuse of power was normalized. Alongside the personal accusations, Diddy has also faced serious criminal allegations. In August 2024, federal investigators reportedly indicted Diddy on charges of racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking. These charges stemmed from years of investigation into his business dealings, particularly the way he allegedly used his influence to run a criminal enterprise. The indictment claims that Diddy orchestrated a network that facilitated illegal activities, from drug distribution to sex trafficking. These allegations are shocking, not just because of their severity, but because they suggest a much larger and more organized criminal element within Diddy's world. If proven true, these charges could result in lengthy prison sentences and the total dismantling of his empire. The response from the music industry has been mixed. While some artists have come forward to defend Diddy, others have expressed their disappointment and shock over the accusations. Fans, too, have been divided, some finding it hard to believe that a man who contributed so much to hip-hop could be capable of such acts, while others feel betrayed by the revelations. Big names like Jay-Z, Mary J. Blige, and even longtime friends like French Montana have remained relatively silent, leading to speculation about whether the industry is protecting one of its most powerful figures or if they are distancing themselves to avoid getting caught up in the scandal. So can Diddy come back from this? Over the years, Diddy has been known for his resilience. He's reinvented himself multiple times, from Puff Daddy to Diddy, from artist to mogul, and from label head to TV star, but this scandal cuts deeper than any before. The allegations touch on abuse, coercion, and exploitation, things that are difficult to bounce back from in today's climate of accountability. Some believe that his business acumen and network of powerful connections could help him weather the storm. Others think that these scandals have marked the beginning of the end for Diddy's reign over hip-hop and pop culture. Sean Diddy Combs has built a career and legacy that few can rival, but as these scandals continue to unfold, we're left questioning how much of his success came at the expense of others. From personal accusations of abuse and manipulation to serious federal charges, Diddy is facing a reckoning that could forever change his legacy. What do you think? Will Diddy overcome these controversies, or are we witnessing the downfall of one of music's biggest icons? Let us know in the comments below, and if you found this video informative, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more deep dives into the biggest stories in entertainment. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time for more breaking news and in-depth coverage of the entertainment world.